Hey everyone, it is the Angry Honey Badger here, and it's time for Badger's picks for the week of October 7th. Let's see who's free this week and what 4 champions I'm going to recommend. Free this week, we get Caitlyn, Ezreal, Gragas, Kassadin, Pantheon, Renekton, Trundle, Viger, Xin Zhao, and Zillion. For my first recommendation for this week, I'm going to go ahead and pick Kassadin. Now typically, Kassadin back in the day was the instant permaban champion. Ever since they did tweak him over the course of this season, I will agree he's not an instant ban anymore, which is kind of nice. He still is a good champion, and if they're ever in a game where you're playing for that late team comp damage, he fits incredibly well in that position. He doesn't have it's not a terrible early game, but really he doesn't hit his stride until 6. So Kassadin is a champion I think a lot of people haven't been playing because they knew he was an instant ban, but now that he isn't, I think it's going to be good to know how to play him because he's definitely going to still have a great place in team compositions just because he still does do a lot of damage and he still does hurt, but nobody's playing him, which is kind of interesting. The next recommendation for this week is going to be Pantheon. Now Pantheon has fallen off I think a little bit, and I'm not exactly sure why. Well, it's because of meta shifts, but I still think he's quite good, and I think he's still good both top lane against certain matchups and in the jungle. And I think he's just in general a fun champion to play. They were looking at tweaking him at Riot a little bit, and they were going to change his ultimate, but the community cried out and they said, hey, you know what, he's actually good, just tweak his numbers or whatever, and whatever they did to him a while ago worked. So he's going to probably sit in his current state for a while, and I think he's in a good one, so try him out if you're looking to play some Pantheon. My next recommendation is going to go for the Trundle. Haven't actually seen him a lot since early in the season when he was becoming a counter to Renekton and Mundo and Shyvana in the top lane. Now that all those champions have pretty much disappeared in competitive play besides Mundo a little bit, Trundle's kind of disappeared, and I still think he fits the top lane meta pretty well. A lot of it has to do with how his helpful passive is helpful, and I still think he jungles incredibly well. Also, one of my favorite champions, if you didn't know. And yeah, I'm going to recommend him just because he's awesome. I think a lot of people undervalue him. I know he's probably cheap and a lot of you might own him, but if you don't, try him out. And as for my final recommendation for this week, I'm going to give it to Ezreal. And I'm only going to give it to Ezreal over Caitlyn for a few reasons. A, I think he's more fun to play than Caitlyn. Another big reason is I've seen a lot of people building Essence Reaver on him. I don't have any faith in that item currently. It just doesn't do enough. It just doesn't seem to help. I know it's unlimited mana and it's a little bit of lifesteal and there's some damage there, but it just doesn't feel like it does enough, and it feels way too costly to kind of recommend it over anything else. I've seen too many Ezreals build it early, and just they like have ridiculously lackluster games. They just don't seem to have any damage. So play Ezreal, but don't build that item, please. Those are going to be the champions that are free this week. Try out any of the ones that are free that you just want to play. Try any of the ones that I recommended. If there is a box around any of these champions right now, that means there is some sort of a build or guide for them if you want to take a look at that, just in case you're wondering what you need to do if you're looking to try them out for the first time. But other than that, just good luck out there this week on the fields of justice.